I just got to put a pin anywhere I want to pivot. So I'm going to leave that one there, put one here, just click, put one here. And now when I grab, they'll pivot around those points. That's it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a mesh in a way.
Well, it creates a mesh, but here's the nice part about it is when I click off of it, like when I go back to my selection tool, it just goes back to being a regular object. Like if I look at it this way, it's just a regular object, which is handy because it's some of these tools used to be overly complicated, which is probably just a limitation of the technology at that time. And it would stay a mesh or something like that. And you're like, it's a pain in the ass now. And I just want to go back in and edit it. But this one doesn't. It just creates the mesh while you're using it. And then it just goes back to a regular object. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, because it kind of freaked me out when it was leaving the mesh. I'm like, oh, should it do that or shouldn't it do that?
Yeah, it just leaves it. It's actually better. But if I go back here, let's see. I can come back to it, right? And then it's giving you these like sort of gives you its own points, which a lot of times I just eliminate them. And again, sometimes I can use this to get just interesting shapes, you know? And then again, I can come back with my white arrow tool and I can now, you know, manipulate it some more. Fix this, look. There's an overlap right there, so I could come back in here.
Would you recommend this if you're like making smoke?
You could do it sort of like that one we looked at. Remember the one with the bear where it had that wisp of smoke going up?
Yes.
You could definitely do that, yeah. Now, another thing I could do with the wisp of smoke is I could come in here and make a line. Fatten up the line right here, right up here in my control bar. And then go to my width tool, you know, and adjust it however I want to adjust it. Then go to object, path, outline, stroke, and now it's a shape that I could add a gradient to. Does that make sense? And then again, I could come in here now if I want to adjust it and just grab points or whatever I want to do. Now, if you notice, this one's a complex curve. So look at all those points, right? Now you can also come up here and go object, because remember our path stuff's right here, right? You have outline stroke, offset path, and then here you can go remove anchor points. And it'll start reducing how many anchor points it has. Or you can add anchor points. Does that make sense?
Hey, Mike, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
How do we resize a shape? I get all the little points, but I always get trouble trying to get the outside rectangle to resize it.
Well, I'm going to do that. Okay, again, if you don't see this, well, look. That's weird. Now it's not doing it. Let's see if I can do it up here. Right here where it says show edges. Okay, that could disappear. And normally I can make it disappear. If it disappears, go Command H or go up here to view. And if it says show edges, tell it to show edges, okay? Because you can lose that box. I don't even know why that function's there, to be honest with you. But then I just go hold, you know, if I want to constrain it, I hold Shift, grab a corner, and it's going to resize it and constrain it and keep the proportions. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, for some reason, I just have trouble resizing the proportions. I get all the little anchor points. It might just be hiding, like you said.
Yeah, you need this corner thing. So it might be a Command H thing. If you're not seeing that, then it becomes a problem. So just go Command H and it should show back up.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And again, I'm not really sure why they did that. Like, I think it's just like they build hyper controllability into this stuff, but sometimes you're like, well, sometimes it disappears. Another thing that happens a lot, and I was looking it up this morning, is your swatches can disappear. Your gradient attenuator, which is that bar that you can adjust when you're in gradients, sometimes that'll disappear. And you should be able to go to show gradient attenuator under the same thing because it's under view. Right here, hide gradient attenuator or show it. It's a bug. Because I was going, this is a bug. I'm pretty sure it's a bug. And then I looked it up and found a lot of discussions on it. And some people go, it's just a bug. And it's been there. This is what drives me crazy about Adobe, by the way. That bug has been going on forever. And another thing is that your swatches can disappear in your gradient tool. Okay, who's this? This is
Me.
Okay. So what are you thinking here?
So the company I'm trying to go for is Airbnb.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I was playing around. I have a Wacom tablet, so I was kind of like playing around with it. I'm still having trouble with strokes and stuff. But since Airbnb is like global, you can do it anywhere. The first left one is kind of like United States. You got like the Hollywood, you got the mountains, you got Statue of Liberty, and then San Francisco Bridge on the side, and then like the Airbnb, you're driving to like the Airbnb logo. And then continuing the concept of around the world, the middle one is I was trying to depict like England. And then the one on the right, I was trying to depict Italy. And instead of the Elf Tower, I was going to use the big Airbnb logo.
I did.
Trouble.
You know what? Hang on a sec here, because I did something similar to this I think it was for Western Union years ago.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I did do it in Illustrator. And it was one of those things where we had no time, so it worked out really good. Ugh, God, I hate this program. Hang on. Come on. Might be in here. I lost the original file 100 years ago. Oh, here it is. I got to screen grab it. So it's sort of that idea, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think the trick to it is you're going to want to show, I don't know where that just went. You're going to want to show more than one place, right?
Yeah.
So this one's, obviously big band, big icons, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to do something like that, yeah. Do it.
Just focus, you said, like on more detail, or what should I focus on or to improve? Or
I would just focus on kind of what I was doing here, where you're just showing a lot of different places.
like places around the world.
Yeah. And
Okay.
and how they kind of fit together. What I would probably start doing, what I probably did with that, is I just did some quick sketches and I started assembling it.
Okay.
Because they're not all like necessarily living in the same universe. I'm not really that worried about perspective and all that stuff. I just want it to look right.
Okay.
And then I'd go, in that kind of, and it doesn't necessarily, it could be places. Part of the thing about Airbnb, and I'm not going to get too far into the psychology of it or whatever, I'd say part of their thing is unique spaces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think
well,
just, you know what? I think just showing like a lot of different, like a friend of mine, she goes to Paris all the time. And sometimes when she goes to Paris, she rents an Airbnb it's a boat on the Seine, like right on the river. Like that's kind of cool that
Yeah.
you do that with Airbnb. Like you couldn't really do that before. I mean, you probably could, but it was a pain in the ass.
yeah.
And that to me is
Well, I
what's
was trying to
interesting about
portray
them.
how it's like worldwide, but yeah, I see what you're saying. How
No,
you can like rent a
worldwide
boat and
makes sense.
stuff.
And I think for this, it's fine.
Okay.
It's not an advertising class or whatever. So I don't want to get too crazy with it. I just want to give you an excuse to make an illustration. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So
Yeah.
I would
Sounds
sort of
good.
just
Thank you.
organize that information, maybe do some quick sketches and go, I'm going to use this icon, this icon. You know, you could even throw in a something left field in there, you know. There could be like I've seen
Yeah.
Airbnb. I was just looking up stuff in Joshua Tree. I think that's where it was. And there were some cool places out there. And like one of them was just a cool trailer, you know, like they fixed it all up. It was on this cool little piece of property in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, I'd stay there. That's all, you know, I just like to go out there and go painting. So I don't care about being at a hotel at all. I'd rather have, like, what was appealing
Yeah.
about that is I go, that's cool, man. It's right in the middle of the desert. There's nothing around it. I can just set up my easel out there, get up in the morning, have some coffee, start painting, turn my easel this way, paint something else. And I don't have to go driving all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd say just organize it and start figuring it out. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know,
Thank
get
you.
some, and I'll talk about this a little bit. I'm going to write this down because I'm going to forget how to kind of start to stylize these things a little bit. Sorry, I have to write everything down or I forget. Okay. Probably going to need to start grabbing some reference, decide what, and by the way, you know, you don't have to use the thing I used with the one I did for Western Union. Like they'd use that thing for all kinds of merch. You know what I mean? They go, we need something for
Yeah.
merch, right? And to be honest with you, we did a lot of their, it's hard to explain, but we did work with them. And then sometimes there'd be a value to me being able to do that because they'd have to go out and hire an illustrator. I think they mentioned it and I go, well, why don't I just do it for you? Like, you just want it for merch? And what I'm trying to do is get the merch business, right? So I'm going, well, screw it. I'm going to do the, if I'm going to do the illustration, let us cost it out for you and see. And we did end up doing that. Okay. And that's the way I got the account, really. Okay.
Cool.
So it just made it easier for them. And everybody likes
Yeah.
that. What happened? Let's close this one. This is weird. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Okay, where you at?
Hi.
Okay, what is going on with my machine, man? Hang on. Okay. Okay, so what are we thinking here?
Just kind of threw some darts on the dartboard on this one. Kind of leaning more to bars or pubs on this one. Like,
You what?
kind of leaning towards bars or pubs on this one.
Okay, that's fine.
For this one, like Devil's Punch Bowl, I had to literally look up what a punch bowl looked like.
Devil's Punch Bowl is a place.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Nice.
I think so. I think it's a real inhospitable desert place or something. I think it's in California.
Oh, that's
I think.
interesting. So I just kind of went with that concept.
Now it's bugging me. Hang on. So that would be a bar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Hang on. Oh, I like that idea. So you just made it up?
Basically, I just like, what's a pun for like, or like a funny name for like a bar.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, look.
Like on the third section, I just looked up stuff like sneaky camel. Literally put a camel sneaking up, a literal chocolate bar, which is just a martini with like a chocolate bar on it. Stubborn mule, a literal stubborn mule. And then on the right side for ice cream, just put ice cream and just put a mouth in an ice cream.
Wait a minute. What was this one here?
This one, just wanted to make trying to figure out how the atomic thing. So I just made an atomic donut.
Wait a minute. And then this one here, the Devil's Punctual, what's that one?
That one's pub. I just put them on the bottom, like pub, donuts, bar, ice cream.
This one here?
The one on the first one on all the way to the bottom is just mostly basing off that.
But what's this image right here?
I tried to make a smoke devil and it didn't work the first time. So I just kind of
same kind of idea, riffing off it and riffing off it here, right?
Yeah.
And then this one's what now?
This one I just made for different concepts for like a donut place, like atomic donut, or like probably something zombie donuts like the one in Fullerton, and then I just made a crazy donut with the.
You know what's
like
funny is right after I talked about that, it popped up on the Hornet, you know, the Hornet paper on campus, that they're like it's their 6th anniversary or something like that.
Oh, so they haven't been on.
Maybe they make great donuts. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had them.
Yeah, the zombie one I just spoofed it off Land of the Dead.
It's what?
I just spoofed it off Land of the Dead.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And Crazy Donut, I just literally put a straight jacket on a donut.
Oh, that's kind of funny. I like that.
And the third one, I just went more concepts for bars, like Sneaky Camel. I just literally drew a Sneaky Camel as best as I could for like a thumbnail.
Is there a bar name that? What's this one right here? Stubborn Mule?
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
And for the last part, it's just mostly ice cream.
Ice cream for ice cream right here?
Yeah.
That's clever.
Very mouths on it. I'm like,
that's pretty clever, actually. What do you guys think?
I like the Crazy Donut.
Yeah, that one's pretty fun.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Cool concept.
What's nice here is you've got 3 or 4 good concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think this is clever. Like, you didn't even have to tell me ice cream for ice cream. It just said it, which is really, really cool when you hit that. By the way, I think I told you guys I have a department meeting. I have a department meeting today. I think I can get through everything though. Okay, so you guys think it's a straight jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Victor?
kind of leaning towards the punch bowl, the ice cream, and like the donut, the crazy donut.
So you're leaning
like,
towards all of them?
Not all of them. I kind of like skipping the bar stuff with the mule, the chocolate bar, and the camel.
I actually like this mule. So you're not opposed to doing the crazy donut, right?
Oh, not at all.
Let's do that one. Everybody seems to dig that one.
Okay.
And I don't know why I have some kind of obsession with the word crazy for some reason, which I don't even know how to explain that. Where's Emily?
I'm here.
Okay, what are we thinking here? It gets really blown out up here.
Oh yeah, I had to adjust a bit, but the top one was a little too light still. So it's a tea house and dessert shop called 3 Cat Tea, and I was just playing around with different types of, I guess, cat-related themed and drinks. So the first one's kind of like a drink with like a foam of a cat.
Oh, like they do the little decoration thing?
Mm-hmm.
And then what's this one?
Just like they have interesting light fixtures in there. It's almost like, you know, those balls that cats play with?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that on the top, and then a cat with a drink. And I was thinking of adding text if I wanted to. I'm not too sure if I do want to add
You'd probably
a large
you'd probably
portion.
want to add text, I would think. You want to add definitely the name, and then you could have some text.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's this one?
And then for the bottom portion, it's a cat that's like a cup with the smoke, and some of the smoke are like tea leaves.
Oh, okay. Are tea leaves distinctive?
Not really. They're different depending on the type of tea.
Yeah, I think the only problem I'd have with that is that people are going to go, is it a nursery or are you selling plants? Because they might not make the connection that it's tea.
Okay. And then for the last one, I was thinking about combining, like, they sell souffle pancake desserts. So I was thinking of combining that along with the cat tea cup.
I kind of like this one.
Mhm.
What do you think? You there?
I like the second one and also the last one.
Yeah, I like this one and this one. I think this is a clearer read.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did this one, you don't need the second part. You just need this. Maybe you could do, if you want to add the T part in, I mean, it could be just as simple because you have this cat sitting here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is it just maybe the other cat's sort of peeking out of the T thing and I can see their paw here and it's just very
Oh,
simple,
yeah, I
right?
could do that. Mm-hmm.
And maybe that goes a little bit in front of this. So you got some overlap and this little cat's looking out.
Mm-hmm.
Paws right there. Maybe your tail coming out. And then maybe even the little T tag hanging out. Then you're saying everything all at once. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So I'm cool with either or. The other thing I'd say here is that, I'd make the cat, I don't know how, but I'd probably make the cat a little more presentational.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe he's sort of holding up the T thing or holding it, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it.
Okay.
I'm cool with either one. Which one do you want to do?
I think I want to try the last one.
Okay. I think that'd be good.
Thank you.
And they sell, what are these things that look like pancakes? What are they again?
They're those souffle pancakes. I
Oh,
think
they
they're
are
really
pancakes.
popular. Yeah.
I don't think I've had them.
They're pretty good. Nice and soft and light.
I'll try that. I don't know why I have a camera in here.
Sorry, that was me. I put it in the wrong class.
And I have this for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. What did I just do? I just did. Okay, that one. Okay. This is Emma. Where's Emma?
I'm right here.
Okay, so what are you thinking here?
So, I mean, I don't have any actual concepts. They're just 3 businesses. So one's a cat rescue, and the second one is like a place that rents for parties and things.
The thing I'm going to say here is that you have to have some sort of concept, right?
But I don't. Yeah. I mean, I guess I didn't get that when we met last time.
Well, I mean, anytime you're doing an image for something, you've got to have some sort of concept, right?
Well, I mean, I have the businesses that I want to,
Right, but now you've got to represent how that works, correct?
Right.
So, we've got to get more going on here. Like, I like the idea of a cat rescue because I'm an animal person. So
Okay.
I might focus on that, but give it some sort of concept, right?
Okay. I'm not really sure how to do that. So,
Well, I mean, that's creativity.
well, I don't have that. I'm an engineer.
Oh, well, I mean, you still have that. An engineer uses creativity to figure out problems. All creativity is problem solving, right?
Okay. Problem solving. Okay.
Like, I'll tell you, okay, I was in Hong Kong and they had this ad campaign there. This was 100 years ago. They had this ad campaign there for don't get animals don't get a pet if you're not prepared to get a pet, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
So they had these big posters. I have a picture of them somewhere, and they were photoshopped, but they were pretty well done. And the concept was stop and think about it. Like, are you ready to have a dog? Are you ready to have a cat? So what they did is they had dogs and cats, like a little group of them. They were all standing upright. And it looks like they had started with a photograph and they manipulated them. And all of them were doing the timeout symbol. Right?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So it was just a little group of cats and dogs with the timeout signal, just telling you, think this through. That's a concept, right?
Okay, so my concept is not really a drawing or a sketch. Initially, it's an idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I can verbalize it initially.
Well, I mean, you just do it just like this. You just do a simple little thumbnail.
Okay, all
And
right.
just go, because it's got to work visual. It's just like the one, I don't know whose it was, the one with the ice cream and the mouth yelling. I immediately knew what that meant.
Yeah, it was great. I did too. Okay.
Yeah. So you just kind of go, what do I want to say here? You know, what's the message here for this, in this case, it's
Okay.
like a nonprofit or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I like nonprofit stuff. You know, it's a cat rescue. There's a lot of ways to go with that.
Okay.
So I would just start with just going, what am I trying to say here? Right?
Okay. I understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can send me those in between, because we're not going to meet till Wednesday because we have Monday off. So in
Okay.
between there, you could send me just some roughs like this.
Okay.
You know, one thing I was going to try and, I didn't really pitch it, but my ex-girlfriend, she worked for animal control, and then she was working for a little while over at the Irvine Park Zoo. And I was going, you know, you should, and I've thought about this too for the zoo up here in Big Bear, the saddest zoo in the world. And because all the animals in there are, every one of them's a sad story. If I start telling them to you, I'll get all emotional about it. But you know, they need money. They don't have this. This is not a zoo like the LA Zoo or anything like that. So like with my ex-girlfriend, I go, you know, it'd be cool is like to do an activity book, but really use the animals here. Like I'll anthropomorphize them and stuff, and really use the animals in the zoo and teach the kids. Or like I go, why don't we make an activity book for animal control? And maybe they've done this, I don't know, but they should, and do it like a little activity book or a kid's book or whatever. Teaching kids how to take care of their new dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
Teaching them the emotional requirement that, you know, they need to be loved and all that kind of stuff. They need to be watered, they need to be fed. Here's what you do, take them out, you know, just teach them a bunch of stuff. And it was just a way to go, you know, and I would have done it in Illustrator or in the zoo. I go, let's do a little like an activity book for the kids, but it's like, this is that real bear that lives there, use their name, I don't know, and say something personal about it or something like that. You know what I mean? So that was a different way of using this kind of idea for a 501 or for a nonprofit, right?
Okay.
Which I'm into helping that stuff out. It just always turns out to be a pain in the ass and I back out. Okay, who's this? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's an actual business that we're running.
Yeah. So what would they need? How would they communicate their message to the public? Right?
Okay.
Okay, who's this? This is
That's mine.
it's Josh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to get on you because you didn't name it, but the folder's named.
I have my name at the bottom.
No, you put your name on the folder. Oh, and on the bottom. All right, fine, Josh. All right, what's this for? Monster Macaroons.
Yes, a fictional macaroon company with a monster theme.
What's this one here?
I was trying to do like a Frankenstein in like the Atlas pose.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's kind of fun.
I
Like that thing where he's holding the earth.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't come off very.
Yeah, but I get it.
Yeah.
It's actually not. It's a nice thumbnail. How come these are raining down from heaven?
Because I needed to fill that space.
I mean, I like the way it looks.
Yeah, I couldn't get it to really all work together because the Atlas pose ends up being like taller than everything. But yeah.
Well, I mean, something could just be back here, and I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just something could be back here, just eating up that space, right?
Right.
I don't know what that would be. like this one for sure I'd have. So it's a macaroon fighting a Godzilla. I kind of like that idea. That's super fun to that'd be super fun to illustrate, I think.
Yeah, and I would just do more like a city.
Yeah, this would
background.
totally be, well, I might do it. You'd have to try it. But I might do it where the cities, you know, and then they're fighting like behind the city.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
That's how they usually do it. And then you could have more city back here. Look, I bet you I can find this real quick. Wait.
Hey Josh, how'd you get the fonts to curve like that? That's pretty cool.
That's just one font, and they had two like variants, so I just did both.
If you want to do that, look, there's two ways. Well, there's more than two ways, but you could go let's get a fatter font. Let's make it all. By the way, if you want to make all these, so I just screwed up. I want to make all these uppercase. If you go into here under type, because all our type tools are right there, and I go change case, uppercase. So now it's all uppercase. Then I can come here and go right here to warp under effect and go arc. And then I can dial that in right here. Does that make sense?
Ooh, yeah, thank you.
And then look, then you have these options: arc lower, arc upper, arch, bulge. And you can adjust these.
Said it was under the type setting, right? And then just
It's under
warp.
effect.
Oh, okay.
And it's warp. And then you have
Okay.
all these like flag, you know, you just have all these different things. Okay. Or you could go make a path. And you could go, you select this one right here, type on a path, and see that little hair on the eyeball or on the eye or whatever that's called, and just go right there, and it'll follow the path like that. Yeah. I'll just lead this up so Josh remembers this. Okay.
Is there a way to change the
No,
like change it from capital lowercase in Photoshop?
I
Does it
don't
work
think
the same
so.
way? No, right?
No.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. Don't
Yeah.
ask me. I don't know why. And you know what else is weird? That in Photoshop, you don't have to hold the shift anymore to constrain. You just,
Yeah.
and you don't do it in here. And you
Mhm.
don't, I don't think it happens in InDesign. It's like, wouldn't you make that a global change across all your software?
Well, I don't know why they changed that in Photoshop.
I agree with you. I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about it.
It just feels weird because we've been doing it
Mhm.
that way for 20 years. It's like, okay, this just now you decide to do this.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm trying to find this image. Hang on. I know I've seen it before.
For the monster one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, the one that I was thinking of was from Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah, but there's a even here, it's not exactly what I was looking for, but because Powerpuff Girls would do all these crazy monsters, and everything in Powerpuff Girls looks kind of vector.
Yeah.
And there is one where there's this crazy looking monster and he's running through the city or whatever.
Mhm. Was it all vector?
Here's one right here.
Oh, that's cool.
But see how they did the buildings?
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I love the design of that show.
It's really good.
It's kind of a
Really
genius show.
unique. Yeah,
I worked with somebody that worked for me at Disney. She worked on that show.
that's cool.
I think she was a character designer. Look. That one's funny right there.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can get a lot of ideas from that, I think.
I'll check it out. That's cool.
And everything in that. That was such a well-designed show.
Hmm. I've never actually seen it, but everything from it looks like really cool. Looks really fun.
Yeah, so do this one.
Okay.
Start fleshing out the characters. You could even maybe, I don't know if it's necessary. You know, you could have a couple of biplanes in here.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe one here. And a big propeller. Because don't they always have that in those things where Godzilla's, or not Godzilla, King Kong's up there and he's like, and he's like swatting
Yeah.
at him and stuff. Anyway, there you go.
Cool.
Have some fun designing those characters.
Yeah.
Like really goof them up, you know?
Sounds good.
There's this whole crazy market opening up with, well, I guess it's not opening up. It has opened up. I think I showed you guys. I did show you guys that one of, oh, this is great. Where are you at?
Right here.
Kayla.
Hey.
How come you got like a blurry purple window?
Oh, sorry.
What is that?
It's just my little camera cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the styling you're going for. I love it when you do this, when people do
Just
this.
like ideas, like some inspiration, what I want to kind of go for.
Yeah, this one, this one here is Eric Tan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the other ones are. I've seen this before. I don't think I've seen that one.
Which one?
This one here, the Grand Canyon diorama.
Yeah, there's a lot of, if you just type in like national park posters, there's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of those. You know.
But I don't think I've seen that one.
Hmm.
Okay, good. This is cool. This Jungle Book. Who did that one? I know that guy. I can't think of his name.
No,
It's not Eric Tan though, right?
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I know who that is. Okay, so and we're doing what? What's the
So I'm
one
gonna,
was?
yeah, I'm gonna do like a marine wildlife photographer kind of poster for a story that I'm working on that has to do with that. So I want to use that graphic within the story. That, yeah.
That's perfect.
Mhm.
So which one do you like? They all look pretty damn good.
My favorite one so far is number 6.
And what's this? Oh, is this a camera?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's underwater?
Yeah, something like that, or have like the water like flowing around it and then sea creatures.
I like this one too.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Are they all like right in front of the boat where they're all, you know, the dolphins do that in front of the boat?
Yeah.
That's pretty dramatic. And especially doing it as a worm's eye view right on the surface of the water, looking up at the boat.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, that's my favorite. What do you think?
I'm still with 6, but I don't mind 8 as well. Like 4, 6, and 8 are what I'm leaning towards.
Would these people up here have cameras?
I probably would put like a camera or two. They're going to be more simple,
I just think
simplified
that's such a cool
forms.
image. I mean, you know what I like about it is it's not just like, here's a camera underwater. It's like, there's more of a concept.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that's just so dynamic. Okay. Now this one, you have all this cool designy stuff in there. That's dynamic too. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with either one of these. I just think this right here is really, I think this right here is like a pretty universal image.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Could be like, well, you have it here. It could be whale watching. It could be marine wild. I love the idea of it being wildlife photography, like a group goes and does wildlife photography. I love that.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
it feels to me like something they could, and somebody probably has, where you start getting people to stop shooting things and go out and shoot them with a camera.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you killing something, when you can get this beautiful picture of it and put it on your wall? And it's the same process. You're going out there and finding it and photographing it in its habitat and all that. So I'm cool with this one, or you said 6.
Mhm.
I'm cool with either or,
Okay. Perfect.
but I'm leaning towards 8. I just think that's a really dynamic image.
I got it. Maybe I'll do both, like save one of them for later,
Josh
So-
agrees. But if you're doing it with another product, if you're doing it with another project, another class, and one of them fits that class better, use that one.
Okay.
Because I love cross-class stuff.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good. Nice thumbnails too.
It's fun.
Okay, who's this? These are great too. Ray,
it's
where
mine.
you at?
Yeah.
Where you at?
Right here.
Oh, there you are. Okay. These look great. Okay, so what is it? Cream of the Pacific?
Yeah.
Love that. And then it's the tide pool thing, right?
Yeah.
So what's happening here on the 4th one?
That's the same one, just a top view.
But what's happening here in the water?
That's like a stingray, and then that's the text for the.
What it
For
is it sitting on the
aquariums.
water, the text?
Yeah, it's like floating on top, I guess.
Okay. How much are you going to stylize these kids?
I don't know yet. I'm trying to decide what kind of style I'm gonna.
I think
shoot it.
I mean, from the perspective of these layouts, I like this one because it's got this diagonal. I like this curve right there.
Okay.
Right? This. It's just the most dynamic one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I like the third one too. I was having a little bit of trouble deciding which view I was gonna go with.
I think
So
it's
maybe
this. This
it's-
feels like a cohesive design.
Okay.
You cool with that one?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's nice. These are really nice thumbnails.
Thanks.
What's your major?
Graphic design.
Oh, cool. I love getting graphic designers in here.
Yeah.
See, you had a nice designed layout because you're a graphic designer. You
Mhm.
think about design.
Yeah.
We should all be thinking about design. Okay, there was something I wanted to go over here. Let me look at my notes. Let me look at my extensive notes. It's just some real quick stuff because I really want. Okay, so here's the next thing you guys are going to have to do. Okay, I gave you guys. Okay, so next thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to start pulling some reference. You're going to have to start refining your drawings. If you're doing a straight up drawing, then you got to get the drawing done. And if you're going to use some sort of reference, start finding the reference, so on and so forth. Does that make sense? So I want to talk about, and I gave you guys an image on to download. And this is real simple, but it might help you with this project a little bit. So I gave you this image of a tree, and I'm just going to take this and go, I'm going to lock it, or I'm going to lock this layer. Hang on, my workspace got all screwed up. Hang on. There we go. We talked about workspaces, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just setting it up. Come here, window, workspace, new workspace, name it. So I named this one, and I did it once I had everything the way I like it. If my windows start getting all sloppy, I just go back up to reset mic and it puts everything back the way it should be. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm just going to go to layers. I'm going to lock this layer off. I'll put another layer here. I'm going to go over here and just grab these leaves. I'll just grab this one or this one. And then I'm going to go to this window. Symbols. And here's some symbols that I could use. I'm not going to use those. I'm going to go place this in here. And this is a vector image. I'll make it a little smaller. And then I'm going to drag it into symbols. And it's going to say movie clip. I don't want that. I'm going to say graphic, dynamic symbols, fine, I think. And I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to go right here to this little spray can. Looks like a, and if I do this and I click this right here, it'll come off here. And I'm going to go, and it's going to start spraying these things, hence why it looks like a aerosol can, right? But what I can do here is I can go through these tools right here, right through this line right here. So this one will let me start to move them around. This one either gathers them, or if I hit option, goes the other way. This one sizes them. So I can, same thing, I can go in here, make some bigger, hit option, and vary the sizes. And then I can come in here, spin them, start reshaping the way they're facing so they start to make more sense. This one, this is a stainer tool, so I'm going to grab a color here and see if I can make that work. I'm going to grab some blue, grab this little color, and see how it just sort of, depending on how much I hit them, it just sort of stains them a little bit, hence the name. And then I can come here and go, well, I'm going to add a little more of that. I can get a little variation there. This one's way too big. This one is screener, so I can hit some of these and screen them back. So if I had a big canopy of leaves in the foreground, I might knock the other ones down a little bit so they sit behind. Does that make sense? I mean, there's a million ways you could use it. And then this one, that's a different thing. I don't want to worry about that yet. But I mean, that little suite of tools that lives right on this. So if I click and hold this, there they all are. And then if I go here and I click the little bar, it'll pull it off. And all you got to do is just go through there and start playing around with them. Does that make sense? Okay, it can help you out. And it doesn't have to be leaves, obviously. Just anything that you want to scatter around the image. It just does it a lot faster, obviously. Does that make sense? But you got it. You take your, and by the way, you can make these. Like I can make my own leaf. Oops. I'm going to go, boom, oops, boom, Pathfinder, and I will go to, I'm going to go to divide, I think. Yeah, and then I'm just going to go, so now it should have split them. There's my leaf. Put it into here. Same deal, put it on graphic, hit OK. And now I've got that leaf in there. So all you got to do is just drag it into the symbols palette. That's it. And now I can start putting those in there. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it is a cool tool. It'll come in handy when we start doing really organic stuff. And then there was some other things. Hang on.
You said it only works if you put it in the symbols, right?
Yes. You got to drag it into symbols. But you can drag anything in, I mean, any vector object. These
Okay,
I just
cool.
downloaded from something or other. That's where those came from. You can see how easy those are to make. They don't take anything. Okay, let me get my notes. Oh, okay. I want to talk about this. Now, the reason I don't show you this in the beginning is people abuse the hell out of it. And hopefully everything's working in here. Hang on. Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay, so I'm going to grab let's grab two things. Oh, it's here. Let's say I want to get a tree line back there. So I'm going to shrink this a little bit. And I'm going to go here. Now I've got it selected. I'm going to go up here again to my windows because all my palettes live under windows. And I want to pull up the palette for image trace right there. I'm going to pull this over so you don't lose my windows over there. This needs to go back where it belongs. That does. And this I can get rid of. Okay, so here's my image window, right? There it goes. So there is I don't know why they did this like this. Right here, this is usually closed. See where it says advanced? I'm going to drop that down because I want to go right here and say ignore white. And what that's going to do is ignore the white around the tree, okay? Because I don't want it to be a box. So then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go right here to preview. And here's the preview of it. So what it's doing, it's turning this, it's tracing it. It's turning it into a vector object. So right here, I can go, I can pick how many colors I want. This is a very complex image, so it takes a little longer. There you go. So that's a limited color, which is a really nice function to have. Does that make sense? Okay, I could also, and then I can go, I can dial in the level of complexity. I like it like that, actually. And I can just keep dialing things in here. I can make it more complex, less complex. Now, it looks like it's picking up a little. We'll see. So you can see how it just sort of makes it sort of graphic. And I can also make it look pretty photoreal if I want to keep more information. I could go here to color. I can also go to black and white, so on and so forth. I can dial it in where, it, like I said, where it just looks, you're dialing in the thresholds and all that kind of stuff, and it'll just look photoreal, basically. So let's, okay, so let's say I like that. Now I'm going to go up to Object, Edit. I think it's under Edit. Hang on. No, Expand. Object, Expand. Okay. And it's going to go Expand Object and Fill. I'm going to say yes. Now, this picked up the background a little bit, and I'm not exactly sure why. It shouldn't have. I got rid of it. So there it is. Okay, so now I have a tree. Okay, so I could do the same thing here, and I could create, it's not ignoring white right there, so I'd have to go and check that. So let's do it like this. Let's go black and white, preview. And I'm just going to dial in the black and white. It'll be a little easier to show you what I want to show you. And let's get rid of this one for now. So I'm just dialing in what I'm going to pick up here. That's not bad. I'm going to hit ignore white. And I'm going to go a little less. That's not bad. And I'm going to go edit or object, expand. Okay, so this one didn't pick up any of the white. You can see that, right? Now, one of the things I might use this for, if I go, I'm going to have a tree line back there. Now, you got to be careful with, you know, if you have a very stylized image, this isn't going to work because this looks too realistic. Does that make sense? So, what was I just going to do? Let's go. But let's say way back there, I'd probably do 2 or 3 different trees. Gray them down. Oops. I accidentally did line. I don't want to do that. So let's go back here. I want to make it a little lighter, a little grayer, a little lighter. That's good enough. And then if I had like two different kinds of trees and I could pull a tree line back here, I could just start reshaping some of these. I could go to my rotate tool right here or reflect tool and go, flip it. Maybe make it a little wider. I could even cut some of these off and make it look like foliage back there. I could probably make it a little lighter. Send it to the back. And I could cut off that tree trunk and start to get, and I could get this whole little silhouette-y background thing going on with the tree line if it was way in the back of an image. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I could do with it.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Would you change the chunk color size before or afterhand you make all those copies?
Just depends.
Yeah, it depends on what you're working on, huh?
Yeah, it just depends on what I'm doing. I don't even know if I can. Let me see if I can do this. I mean, there's different ways I can do it. Let's see if I can just go pick that. Go Pathfinder. Yeah, it did. So I just cut that off and I could create foliage back here. Or just create a secondary part of the forest back there or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if this was way in the background, it'd be fine. Okay. Now, you see this all the time. Hang on, let me find this. I see this all the time with shirts and things like that. So let's go object, or let's go back to image trace. Hit preview, hit ignore white. It's too much. Let's go a little back. I want to add a little of this. Just trying to keep it really graphic, but add a little bit of interest to it. That's not bad. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now, again, I can dial this in and pick up a lot of the photography or not. Like there, it gets really almost a little more like the photograph. When I'm keeping this one color, I can go to color if I want under here, but I'm going to keep it this way. And I'm going to say, I like that image expand. And then I can go, I was going to make some psychedelic Dylan poster. Let's see if we can do this. See, I'm not getting my attenuator, so that kind of makes it hard for me to do this. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But I can probably do it here. And maybe have it go. Wow, this is really giving me a hard time here. There we go. You know, they do this a lot on t-shirts. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? They do this, then they do. Go ahead. Then they get some hippy dippy font, which I don't know if I have any. I'm just going to put this because just for the hell of it. I'd probably darken this value a little bit. Oops. I'll leave that for there for now. You know, and then they do this. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Very simple.
Yeah.
And there's a million ways you could dial this stuff in. Does that all make sense? Now, what you don't want to do, and I hate it when people do this, I don't usually get it very much in here. Somebody goes, "Oh, cool! I'll just image trace this whole product or project," and it's like, no. Again, this is a tool that's very handy. If I was doing t-shirt graphics like this, I'd probably start here and play around if I wanted. You know which one I see all the time? It's Jim Morrison. They have a t-shirt just like this. You know what I'm talking about, Josh? And it's very reduced in shape. It's kind of like that. It doesn't have a gradient, I don't think. But they're just, and part of the reason I think they use that so much is there's these very good lit pictures of Jim Morrison that just give you really good lighting for this kind of thing. Like you can see it's all about the shadow values and all that, right? Now, I also might come in and do this by hand with a pen tool if I really wanted to control it and all that kind of stuff. Or I might start here and then come back into it with, I don't know, draw over it or who knows what, okay? Any questions on that? You got to remember to hit that ignore white, and that's under the advanced dropdown in that palette. All your palettes are under window, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The other two, I think I'll show you on when we get back. Okay. So play around with the symbols one. I don't need to make this an assignment or a project or an assignment, do I? Or a exercise, or do I? Go play with these things. I don't want to, I mean, I don't want to make everything an exercise, okay? Some things I do, but you got to learn how to use these things, and just these are pretty simple. You just go in and play around with them, right? Here's what I want for Wednesday. I want these things in process because we're out on Monday. I want these things in process. Here's what I usually do with a project. I like to let the class breathe and see where it is because I got to work with you in class on these things. So I'll put down a tentative date, which will just be like probably the following Monday. And then I'll just see where we're at, and I might push it out a little bit, or I might even, if you guys are ahead of me, then I'll pull it back. Does that make sense? But I've learned over the years, I got to let the class breathe a little bit, and because you guys got to have time to actually work, okay? And then you got to have time to come in class and go, I'm trying to solve this problem, and so on and so forth, okay? First thing you need to start off with is either pulling your assets or your reference or whatever, and then and obviously, Josh, Kayla, anybody's doing a drawing, you got to get that nailed down, right? And if you want to send me the drawing, that's fine. Send me the drawing. Just know that sometimes if I don't respond right away, it means I'm probably not home. But I'll try and respond once I land somewhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
4 days, so I have no idea if I'll be home or not. I got to do some tutorials, and I'll do that. I'll stay home for that. But after that, I don't know if I'm going to be home or what's going on. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
But I will be looking at the stuff. And once I land, like if I'm out on because sometimes I take road trips, and I just go painting. And sometimes I'll end up at a hotel or whatever, and I have my laptop with me, so I usually will answer that stuff then. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I have a meeting in 15 minutes. But that's basically what I want to show you today, because I really want you to start focusing on your project. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'll put this video up. I will put the assignment up. And again, don't worry about the time date. I'm just going to put the following Monday, but I'm pretty sure we're going to need at least 2 days in class for this, at least. Okay. Because it's the first time you're taking these tools down and actually starting to make an image, which is a different ballgame. Okay.
So you said for next Wednesday to keep working on the roughs and keep making it better, right? Pretty much make it better.
I want you to start getting into your project.
Okay, sounds good.
And part of that is, okay, I got my roughs. Now I need to start refining. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you want to throw the drawings past me or something, that's fine.
Okay.
And here's the other thing. Eventually, I don't know, I probably wouldn't have been all this comfortable doing this when I was first starting it, you know? So I'm not expecting you guys to do that. But I mean, I usually go in with I know what I need, and you will too at some point. And some of you already will, because you've been making images and things. Like, you'll know how much information you need in that sketch. I can do a pretty rough sketch and take it into Illustrator and refine it in Illustrator. I just don't tend to clean it up like crazy outside of Illustrator. What I really look for is that all my landmarks are there. I'll look at it in the mirror, whatever. If I draw it on the computer, I'll flip it, and I just try and look at it and go, it's pretty balanced. And if it's balanced, I can, you know, and I got enough information in there, I can go. Does that make sense? Because I'd like you guys to learn, and I don't expect you to do this right off, but if you already have some experience image making, you might already kind of know, I don't need, because sometimes people will just do these insanely detailed drawings. I'm like, you don't even need all that stuff. You know what I mean? You got to learn your process. And that's just a process of just doing it and learning it. Does that make sense? Okay, you guys, I'm going to let you go. If you have any problems, talk to me. Okay. Did I get? Yes, I did. Okay. Any questions? Okay. I'm going to let you guys go. I'd like to go on, but I have to do the stupid meeting, which I'm not happy about. But
Thank you.
But
all
thank
right,
you.
guys, I'll let you go.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Bye.
Bye.
The ideas were cool.